and welcome to the dangers of sugar training. So, the weather is starting to get a little warmer, and people are trying to eat better and live healthier lives, and we're going to be getting outside more and exercising. So, it's important to know maybe some tips that can help you eat better and help you keep off some of those extra pounds. Or also, if you're diabetic and you're struggling to eat less sugar and eat healthier, these can be excellent tips for that as well. So, my name is Erin Smithers. I'm the Information Referral Coordinator with the ARC of New Jersey's program, the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project. So, here's my information, and let's get started. So, what kind of sugar is bad for me? There's two different kinds of sugars. Basically, there is the unhealthy sugar on the left, all of the white sugar, the candy, the snacks. But then there's also sugar on the right, which is natural sugars that come from fruit, which both are delicious, but one of them is better for you than the other. Obviously, the fresh fruit is better for you than the soda and the snacks and the candy. So, according to the American Heart Association, the maximum amount of added sugars you should be eating a day are, for men, 9 teaspoons, and for women, 6 teaspoons. That is not a lot. If you look in some of those snacks that we just saw, like soda, there are 40 grams of sugar, 10 grams of sugar in just one serving of that candy. So, it is very important to make sure that you're being aware of what you're putting in your body. Now, there's also different names for added sugar. So again, we're not talking about natural sugars found in fruits and vegetables. We are talking about added sugar: agave, barley malt, beet sugar, blackstrap molasses, brown sugar, cane sugar, carob syrup, castor sugar, coconut sugar, coffee sugar crystals, confectioner sugar, corn syrup, date sugar or date syrup, demerara, dextrose, evaporated cane juice, fructose, fruit juice concentrate, glucose, golden syrup, grape sugar syrup, honey, high fructose corn syrup, icing sugar, invert sugar, lactose, malt, white sugar, maltose, maple syrup, molasses, muscovado, palm sugar, vanilla, powdered sugar, rapadura, raw sugar, rice syrup, sucrose, sugar, obviously sugar, treacle, turbinado. So all of these basically are forms of added sugar, things added to foods to make them sweeter. In America, we have a huge problem with adding sugar to everything. You get a bag of vegetables, frozen vegetables from the store, turn it around, you'll see that they add sugar to it. White bread, a lot of sugar is added to that. Of course, things like cereal and waffles, things that you might be aware there's sugar, just turn it around, you'll be aware that there's a lot more sugar than you might have thought. So, some alternatives to sugar. So if you were trying to stay away from the unnatural added sugars, you can substitute honey for more natural sugar, stevia, which is a plant, but it doesn't have the same effects on your body as regular sugar would, xylitol, which are things like Splenda or artificial sugar, and maple syrup. These are the conversion charts. So, and then please take notes of the bottom of when you're cooking with it or when you're using it, there's certain things you need to do to it. So like I talked about previously, sugar is hiding in your food. So we're going to go over some foods that maybe you didn't realize had sugar in them, or maybe you didn't even realize the amount of sugar. Let's keep in mind that for men, you're supposed to have 9 grams a day, and for women, recommended 6 grams a day. So here we have some things you might eat every day: tomato soup, barbecue sauce, cereal bars, macaroni and cheese, frozen pizza, peanut butter, cereal, baked beans. You'll notice that there's not a lot that is even underneath the daily serving, and these are just one serving. So say you have 1 cup of the Fruit Loops or the Fruit Ring cereal. That's 12 grams of sugar. You're already over your daily allowance of what is recommended for you to have. Even if you look at the bottom, things like whole grain bread have added sugar in them, wheat crackers, frozen waffles. So you just have to be very careful about reading the ingredients and the nutritional charts. And of course, it's not just in foods you eat, but it's in things that you drink. So obviously things like soda are going to have a lot of sugar, but what you might not be aware is those vitamin drinks or those health drinks that you are drinking all the time are also really jam-packed with sugar. You'll take a note that the soda has a lot, but Powerade has a lot more. And then the most is fruit juice blend. So fruit juices, while you might think are healthier for you, have a lot of added sugar. They are jam-packed with sugar, which is, as you know, bad for your teeth, bad for your body. If you are insistent on feeding someone juice or drinking juice, try to cut it with some water. So do maybe half or 3/4 water and then half or 1/4 juice. That will help lessen the amount of sugar that you are drinking. And maybe you didn't realize, but there is a lot of sugar in ketchup. Ketchup, you might not think condiments have a lot of sugar. You're mainly focused on the kinds of foods you eat, but again, remember that the things you drink have sugar, and the things you dip your food into have sugar. Things like dressing and ketchup are filled with sugar. So now let's do a little bit of a quiz. So you want to eat more fruit? What do you think has higher sugar? A natural peach or a fruit cup? So the fruit cup has 18 grams, but a whole peach has 13 grams. So it is going to be better again to just eat the natural foods, the unprocessed, the raw foods, especially fruits. So you might try to eat more fruit and eat healthier by eating fruit cups or fruit in syrup, but they're going to add a lot more sugar. So now let's try with a wrap or white bread. So one wrap has 2 grams of sugar. The white bread has 3 grams. So again, less bread, less added sugar. And you might not be aware, but the carbs that you eat also turn into sugar in your body as well. So if you are diabetic or if you are trying to cut back on sugar, it's very important to make sure you're also cutting back on carbs. So now let's try with 2 different fruits. What fruit do you think has less sugar? Raspberries have 5 grams per serving, and cherries have 18 grams per serving. So you want to go with the raspberries. Berries are the lowest sugar counts of all the fruits. Berries like strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries, they're going to be the least amount of natural sugars. So if you're choosing between fruits, and again, you're diabetic, you're trying to cut out sugar, always go with berries. Bet you didn't realize there was that much sugar in cherries, though. But it is still a natural fruit, so it is better for you than, say, M&Ms or soda. All right, so now let's go with our drinks. So we have Coca-Cola on the left, and we have iced tea on the right. So Coca-Cola, 1 can, has 44 grams of sugar. Iced tea has 22. People add sugar. If you get those powdered sugar mixes with iced tea, it has 22. So it has half of the amount of sugar that a soda does. But the best thing for you to drink is water. Now, water might seem boring to some people, especially when compared to soda or to iced tea, but have some seltzer, add some fruit to your water, or add those additives with that are sugar-free or with sugar substitute like Mio or the Crystal Light. There are ways to punch up your water, but that is definitely going to be the best thing for you to drink because it has 0 grams of sugar. So what happens if you eat a lot of sugar? Tomorrow's always a new day. It's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself, but try to work better at it the next day. Go meal by meal if it's too much for you or if it seems a little overwhelming. And the best thing for you is to eat whole and natural foods foods that you make yourself. That way you know exactly what's going in them, you know how much sugar is being added, you know exactly the ingredients that are in your meals. And whole foods and natural foods are going to have the least amount of sugar. There's not going to be any added sugar unless you add it yourself. And they're just going to give your body the best and the most amount of nutrients and vitamins and minerals. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My email and my phone number are listed. And again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you gained some useful tips on how to cut out sugar in your daily life.